Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Community Development and Regulatory Services Committee for today, June 6th. I've been joined by Councilmember Quincy and Councilmember Osame. We're just waiting on quorum, and as soon as a fourth member arrives, we'll begin the meeting. I'll note that Councilmember Fry has an excused absence and is unable to be here today. We have a quorum of the committee. We will begin the agenda. We're going to start with the consent agenda, which is items 6 through 18. Those items include the regular liquor, business, and gambling licenses. On today's agenda, a license settlement conference recommendation with McCleary Wine and Spirits, granting exclusive development rights to Ideal Development for 4146 Fremont Avenue North, as well as exclusive development rights for Wellington Management for Van White to the property at Van White and 2nd Avenue North. Item number 10 is a first mortgage refinance at St. Anne Senior Housing. 11 is a reconveyance of property from the city to the state at 1718 Fillmore. Item 12 is a contract amendment with Gimmick. Item 13 is a contract amendment with the Minnesota Homeownership Center. Item number 14 is a project that we're putting through the Affordable Housing Trust Fund pipeline for the Red Lake Indian Reservation Band of Chippewa Affordable Housing Project that they brought forward at 2113 Cedar. Item 15 is a contract with the Step Up Internship Program with the Northwestern Metropolitan School District. 16 is a grant from the U.S. Department of Energy to research monopath homes. Item 17 is a grant from Hennepin County. And item 18 is a contract amendment with Homeline for legal advice for Minneapolis renters. I'll note item 19 is being postponed. Are there any items on the consent agenda anyone would like to pull off for discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to move the consent agenda. All items, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those items are approved. If you were here for any of those items, thank you for being here today. The remainder of our agenda is our public hearing, starting with item number 1. Mr. Curtis, welcome.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, good afternoon. What you have in front of you is a request for a preliminary and final approval for up to $22 million in 501c3 tax-exempt revenue bonds. This is for the Friends of the Spiro Academy, and it's to finance the acquisition of approximately 4 acres and building a 65,000 square foot building at 2701 California Street, Northeast. The school will not own the property. The Friends of Spiro Academy has been created to do this. The actual charter schools cannot directly own the land and the building, but they will be the only tenant. They have approximately 93 students now, and with the expansion, they will probably expand to around 115 students. And this facility will be solely for special education children. There are representatives here if you should have any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Curtis on item number 1? Seeing none, thank you for your report. We'll open up the public hearing on item number 1, which is preliminary and final approval of issuance of up to $22 million in 501c3 tax-exempt revenue bonds for Friends of Spiro Academy. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval of this item number 1 on the special revenue bonds project. Thank you very much.
Item number 1 has been moved for approval. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move to item number 2, which is Bullhorn at 4563 34th Avenue South. Mr. Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have an application today by Bullhorn LLC for an on-sale wine and strong beer license Class D, and this is at 4563 34th Avenue South, the location of the Sunrise Inn for many years. This is in the Erickson neighborhood in the 12th Ward. They have seating for 50 persons inside, and we'll have an outdoor private patio with seating for 16 persons. The applicant, Bullhorn LLC, is a Minnesota company recently formed. Owners are Amy Greeley and Douglas Flicker. They are currently the owners of Sandcastle at Lake Nokomis, and Mr. Flicker was previously the owner of the Piccolo Restaurant at 4300 Bryant Avenue South. This will be a full-service sit-down restaurant with hours from 11 a.m. to midnight, Tuesday through Sunday, and 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday. A public hearing is required for this license. We notified all persons, residents, and property owners within 600 feet of this premise. And we also notified the Standish Erickson Neighborhood and the West of the Rail Business Association. We received 17 responses from that mailing. 16 were in support, and 1 was opposed based on parking issues in the neighborhood and projected noise. Staff's recommendation is that this application meets all of our requirements and that it should be approved.
Are there any questions for Mr. Wilson on item number 2? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 2, which is a new business license for Bullhorn. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
I'm Jamie Jones. I live at 4550 35th Avenue South, and my driveway would butt up against the parking lot. And I'm all in favor of it. I'm just would like there to be restrictions on serving on the patio, especially during the week, maybe 10 o'clock, just for noise, since it is right in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
Thank you for your testimony. Is there anyone here from Bullhorn? Do you guys want to come up and tell us about what you're doing, potentially address what your plan is for the patio?
Hi, Amy Greeley with Bullhorn LLC.
And Doug Flicker.
In chatting with Mohammed through the process of applying for the application, we did agree to close the patio at 10 p.m. So that's not an issue.
Great. Tell us about what you're doing.
Go
So
ahead.
you go for it.
So we are hoping to sort of polish the bar, keep that spirit, keep that accessibility and that sort of dive bar history that is in Minnesota, and kind of bring a little bit of that Wisconsin bar feel, which I think is a little more family friendly, as well as that up north where the whole family goes out. We definitely want to be family friendly. We are putting in a full kitchen, and so greatly expanding the menu. We wanted to focus on bar food, but also have a couple smokers and maybe focus on large pieces of meat and do a brisk takeout for people who just want some chicken, a side of ribs, take it home for dinner. And then we do own the whole building now, so that's for Bullhorn, and we also want to get some nice renters in there and liven up that corner. We will be doing greenery in the parking lot and the patio. We'll be putting more green space around that, so hopefully making it a vibrant, healthy corner now.
Great. Well, thank you and good luck to you. It sounds like that you answered the question of your neighbor as well, so that's all good.
Great.
Thanks for being here today. Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm very excited about this. One question I had for you, Doug, is the Flicker dog going to be available at this as well? Oh, my God. Oh, Sandcastle? Okay, we'll keep it in the 11th ward. All right, well, since this is in the 12th ward, I'm not going to fight over the hot dog. But, thank you very much. It's just terrific. It was the last joint in the city, so we're excited that this is moving forward, and I would like to move approval of item number 2.
Approval has been moved. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move then on to item number 3. Mr. Wilson.
Madam Chair, we have an application by Dumpling LLC. They operate a restaurant at 4004 Minnehaha Avenue. They currently have an on-sale wine and strong beer license Class E, and they have been there since November of 2016, and they are seeking a expansion of premises for a new sidewalk cafe. They are in the Hiawatha neighborhood, Ward 12, and the sidewalk cafe will be located on the sidewalk that faces Minnehaha Avenue. They will have 9 tables and 18 chairs out on the city public sidewalk. The plan has been approved by our traffic engineering division. It meets all of their requirements. Sidewalk cafes do require a public hearing. We notified all residents and property owners within 300 feet of the premises. We also notified the Longfellow Community Council and the Longfellow Business Association. We received 8 responses, 4 were in support and 4 were opposed. Those that were opposed generally were concerned about additional parking increases, shortages, noise, overcrowding on the sidewalk, et cetera. Our review of this application finds that it meets all of our requirements, and we are recommending that the application be approved.
Are there any questions about item number 3 for Mr. Wilson? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 3, which is an expansion of premise for dumpling. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Bunba Chilin. I'm with Dumpling LLC. What we kind of want to do is take advantage of the nice new sidewalk on Minnehaha Ave and bring more business into the neighborhood.
Great. Well, thank you for being here today, and good luck with your endeavor.
Thank
Is
you.
there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Quincy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to move approval of item number 3.
Item number 3 has been moved. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. We'll move on to item number 4. Mr. Wilson.
Madam Chair, our next application is by Foslin Olson Incorporated. They own the 1029 Bar at 1029 Marshall Street Northeast. The 1029 Bar has been in existence at this location way back into the 50s. They were in the old liquor patrol limits and have existed without closure since that time with just a very few independent owners. They are seeking an expansion of premises to add an additional space to their existing outdoor patio. They currently have a patio that seats 48 persons, and they are adding an additional 48 seats. This outdoor area is considered a Class E area, so there's no live entertainment permitted unless they have a temporary event, for example. This expansion does require a public hearing. We notified all residents and property owners within 300 feet of the premises, and we notified the St. Anthony Neighborhood Association and the Northeast Minneapolis River District. We received 2 responses. One was in support of the application from the St. Anthony West Association. They do not object to the application for expansion, but are concerned about general parking problems in the area. The other response was opposed due to negative behaviors of persons patronizing the bar. Some issues with some litter and public urination problems late at night. Our review of the application finds that it does meet all of our requirements. This establishment has been there so long, it does not have a parking requirement. The new part of the patio will take up 2 of the existing off-street parking spaces that they do have, but they do not have a parking requirement by the zoning code. Staff's recommendation is that the application be approved.
Are there any questions for Mr. Wilson on item number 4? Seeing none, we'll open the public hearing on item number 4, which is an expansion of premise for the 1029 Bar. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Anyone? Is there anyone here from the 1029 Bar? Come on up. Tell us what you're doing, just so we can cheer you on.
My name is Scott Foslin. I'm the co-owner of the 1029 Bar for the last 15 years now. We have the Smack Shack that operates the kitchen in our place, and I think that the summertime is it's just been overfilling. So therefore, we're going to expand it. And with the neighbors and all that, we police the neighborhood as much as possible and keep it as clean and neat. And we're working with the neighbors also, so
Great.
I think
Well,
it'll be a
thank you.
good thing.
It's impossible to get in there, as you know.
I apologize.
I've
for that.
tried many times. You have good karaoke.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Anyone? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Councilmember Reich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Move this item for approval.
Item number 4 has been moved for approval. Further comments or questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Our final item on the agenda today is item number 5, Northern Coffee Works, which is a new business. Mr. Wilson.
Madam Chair, Northern Coffee Works at 1027 Washington Avenue South is seeking an on-sale wine and strong beer license, Class C2. The Class C2 does allow 3 musicians to play inside. This site was the home of the Big Brain Comics store that operated for many years at that location. It's in the downtown east neighborhood in Ward 3. They have seating inside for 40, and outside, they are not having an outdoor area at this time. Their planned hours are from 6:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. This will all be located on the first floor of the Washington Avenue Flats building. There is a kitchen and restroom being built on the first floor as well. They do have a food menu that qualifies them as a full restaurant, and their food menu is significant. A public hearing is required at this location. We notified all residents and property owners within 400 feet of this address, and the Downtown Minneapolis Neighborhood Association and the East Downtown Council and the Warehouse District Business Association. We received one response from that notification, and it was in support of the application. Staff finds they meet all of our requirements and are recommending approval.
Are there any questions for Mr. Wilson on item number 5? Seeing none, this is a public hearing on item number 5, which is a new business license for Northern Coffee Works at 1027 Washington Avenue South. Is there anyone here to speak to this issue? Are you Jeff, Josh, or Kevin? Come on up. The other two are Jeff and Josh.
Yes. Hi, my name is Kevin Burke. I'm the Director of Operations for Northern Coffee Works. It's coming to 1027 Washington Avenue in July. Our mission is to be a spark for building community and culture by providing exceptional craft coffee, food, and beverages in a cafe which reflects the interests, outdoor scenery, heritage, and ambiance of its home state of Minnesota. We have 40 seats, no exterior seating, and hours of operation Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8, and then a little bit later on the weekends, 7:30 to 8 on Saturday and Sunday. Beverages we'll be offering include craft coffee and espresso from Intelligentsia and Ruby Coffee Roasters, craft teas from Kilogram and Spirit, sparkling iced teas, kombucha, and house-made sodas on tap, and a small curated selection of beer, cider, and wine, all on tap by the glass. Have a menu offerings of waffles, breakfast biscuit sandwiches, grain bowls, and grilled and deli sandwiches. Northern Coffee Works is committed to buying local and seasonal ingredients, which include purveyors of Kelowna Supernatural, Pork and Plants, Ferndale Market, and Co-op Partners Warehouse in Minneapolis. Events at Northern Coffee Works will happen very sparingly and will align with our company mission of contributing to the culture and ambiance of Minnesota, including bike-packing adventure storytellings, restaurant pop-up dinners, and barista latte art throwdowns. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you for testifying today. Would either of the two of you like to speak? You don't have to. Are there any, is there anyone else here to speak to this issue? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. I will move approval myself, since this used to be in my ward, and this is a location where you could be open later, you could be outside, you could have longer hours, you could have events, so hopefully you'll be so successful that you'll get to that point, and I appreciate your approach, but you don't have a lot of residential neighbors right now, so I think people will be real supportive of more cool things going on in that area. Congratulations on your opening. I'll move approval. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That item is approved. Seeing no further business before us, we are adjourned.